optimist because for a small country in the sport, as I think we're aware, we have achieved some amazing results, and there's no reason why we can't do the same here.
What do you attribute the rail to? Anything in particular?
The horse was jumping extremely. I think it was the only thing he touched the whole course, as far as I know. And I mean, there's any number of reasons. The look of the jump is quite interesting. When it had a rooster on one corner, and then there was the tail of the rooster, and then it was open the rest of the way across. And what course designers are really trying to do is these horses are so sensitive and careful and everything else. If you can distract them for just a split second, then they're thinking about the visual and they don't concentrate on the legs quite as well. And so what you need a horse that's that sharp and observant and sensitive, but they mustn't ever be distracted by that. They just need to register it, be aware of it, and stay on the job with the rails. And I can only think that I just lost this concentration for a split second because I was happy with my pace, my balance, I was aware of the width, and I was making sure of it. And I must say I was quite surprised. It was the back rail in front, I'm pretty sure. So normally it should be the back rail behind. It was in front, so that means the arc wasn't quite what it should be, which suggests he didn't quite push off the ground properly, which suggests distraction. It's a long answer.
You took quite a cautious turn to the triple combination. I thought you really set him up for that.
Oh, did you know?
I did. A lot of the others were swinging around the corner into it, and you looked like you were being just a little, getting yourself right into that. Did you?
Yeah, I did, yeah, because no, that was a critical, I thought that was a critical thing to do, and Dixon's a naturally fast horse, so I knew I would have a second in the bank if I needed it, and I must say it sure made the triple ride smooth for him, because as you watch a lot of them, and they're a little off the base of the sea. I mean, it's not the prettiest thing to watch with some, and it just felt boom, boom, boom with him, just exactly right. So, I was pleased that I did that.
Have the shadows played any?
I was lucky with the shadows when I went. I think earlier, as the shadows were traveling down to that last jump, I sure wasn't liking that, because there was a time when the shadow was an inch towards the last jump. It was 10 meters away, then 15 meters away. And sometimes horses are going along and they're galloping and they see the change in color on the ground, and they really are reluctant to put their feet there. Because out in the wild, in nature, they wouldn't do that. They suspect something wrong. And so again, these brave horses have to, when they look and they say, well, maybe I shouldn't do that, the rider puts their leg on and they say, yes, sir. And that goes to their discipline and their training. But I don't know that it caused any trouble, the shadow. And also, for me, I was fortunate when I went. But yes, I mean, these horses see shadows, but it is interesting, even very seasoned, experienced horses can be distracted and tricked by the shadows.
Damn good.
Stupidity. At the beginning, I thought I'll just do this until I get a real job, and now look where I am. Pension plan of the Canadian team is non-existent. Let me give you, I love to do it. That is the truth of it, and I do it with my children who both ride on our team, and it's just a great thing to do. It's great fun, and to get here with a team like this. This is a team that's been together for quite a while, and you feel like brothers and a sister, and you're a family almost. And it's you really try for each other, and it couldn't be more fun to do. We'll see. I'm certainly committed till Brazil, and then I'll see what I do. And it depends on the horses. It depends on staying injury-free. I mean, you get out there and something can go wrong tomorrow, and you get hurt, and that's not good. And I've been very lucky. I must say I've been hurt a few times, but nothing that I didn't recover from, and nothing that compromises me today. And I think it also has to do with your luck and your genes. I mean, some people, we all age differently, and so far I seem to be in pretty reasonable shape.
What do you enjoy the most still of the sport?
Well, I would say, it's funny you should ask, I would tell you the Nations Cup. And just because it's the team event, and I enjoy the interaction with the teams, and the team and the other riders and the coach and the whole thing is just really fun to me. But I mean, I love working with horses. That's how, when I was a little kid, I just wanted to be around horses, whether it was grooming them or feeding them or cleaning their stalls, just anything to do with horses. And riding, of course, I loved, but I still feel the same. And if I ever stopped riding, I would still be doing something with horses. There's no question about that. Oh, it's a different sport. I mean, I go back to when we used exclusively thoroughbreds off the track, if you can imagine. And the breeding in thoroughbreds has changed a lot in North America. They're now a smaller, lighter horse. Back in the day, you could get substantial thoroughbreds off the track that very much looked like what we're seeing out here. And if you think back to those days, what was being used in Europe was a heavier, slower horse. And now, like everything else, it's gone global. And you got one specific type that we're all looking for. And they got to have all that power and strength. Yet they got to be able to run like a gazelle and have be limber and quick and brave. And so to find that horse, there's less of them being born every year because the bar has been, the test is more and more specific as time has gone on. I mean, one little example of that is way back in the day, any jump had so much material in it, you could practically build the whole course with the material that was in one jump. And,
a lot of timber.
You know, and now the course is so visually difficult. And so actually I was saying to somebody the other day, when I go to try a horse now, I test their eyes. And I'll jump a jump, I'll try to develop something that's visually difficult. And I want to see if they look at it and read it right away and don't hit it. And in the day, what we do is we jump that same jump and they'd hit it. And then you'd come back and they'd jump it wonderful. And you'd say, oh, that was a great reaction. But the point is, the competition's over if they don't see it the first time. And so course designers have figured out how to put a test on a horse's ability to see something in a split second and recognize what it is. Whereas in the old days, the eyes weren't tested like that. Time allows. I mean, look what we're dealing with in time allows. And you have to go faster, yet do it exactly with the same everything. You know, the speed cannot take away rideability or balance or anything else. You're just doing it at speed, but everything else is the same. The carefulness of the jumps is amazing. We're asking them to work in closer. Just too long an answer. You know, back in the day, when Pamela Carruthers, the very famous Pamela Carruthers, came to Canada, and she taught us about Grand Prix jumping. And she said, now a horse gallops on a 12-foot stride. Any course designer who doesn't put jumps on multiples of 12 is a bad course designer. Well, today you can't find a course designer that puts them on multiples of 12. It's all about just varying those distances a little bit. So again, that's another evolution. And when you start doing that stuff with them, it goes to strength, balance, training. You know, it goes to a lot of things. Certain horses just can't do it. They don't have the elasticity in their bodies to do it. So it's a different sport.
Is there one horse here this week that you would love more than anything else?
There's about 100 of them.
Yeah.
There's, again, the quality of horses, and the whole world is looking for them, and you just sit there and you think, boy, it's remarkable. And again, what it comes down to is their heart and their mind. You know, you can really tell a good horse when they walk in there.
Marcus Oehlich's corner.
Oh, wasn't that fantastic to watch? And of course, he's fantastic to watch. But there's so many of them that are great.
And your own, of course.
Thank you very much. I'm very proud of my own horse.
Thank you.
Thanks.